I've talked before about how faith is not a spectator sport, but rather something God invites us to participate in actively. In today's episode, I have a couple of questions about what that might mean in your life. Stay tuned. Hello, friends. Pastor Tim Westermeyer here, Senior Pastor of St. Philip Deacon in the western suburbs of Minneapolis. Good to be with you as always. This past weekend, we installed our newest pastor, Pastor Michaela Darlene, here at St. Philip Deacon. And you can watch the video of the whole service if you're interested. Today, I want to sort of just tease out one part of my message, I guess, which we'll link to the actual sermon as well if you'd like to listen to it. But I was sharing the story of Moses largely, and the gospel reading for the day was related in a way I'll get to in a second. But one of the points I lifted up about the story of Moses is that God calls to Moses at a time in Moses' life when Moses is, I'll use the words content, happy, comfortable. He's not looking to move, let's say, and that's when God meets him at the burning bush and invites him on, I will call it this grand adventure, right, which is filled with difficulty and challenge and gets Moses moving away from the comfort of his life. In the gospel for yesterday, which comes from Mark chapter 8, this is when Jesus is talking to his disciples and he says, "Who do people say that I am?" And they say, "Well, they say you're maybe John the Baptist or Elijah or one of the prophets." And he says, "Well, who do you say that I am?" And Peter famously confesses, "Well, you are the Messiah." And part of what Jesus' response to Peter is this: if anyone to become my followers, let them deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. Which again suggests, similar to the Moses story, giving something up, sacrificing something, bearing a burden that will in some mysterious way give your life meaning and significance and purpose. So I guess I have two questions for you today, which you can either sit with, or if you feel like sharing them below or emailing me, that's fine. But minimally, I'd invite you just to sort of sit with them. The first question is, what do you think about that? Does that seem, in your experience, does that make sense to you? That, again, there's slightly different nuances if you talk about Moses. Again, this is my language, being sent on an adventure. I think there's something very sort of positive about that. If you talk about taking up your cross, it has sort of negative connotations, again, of a burden. But in your experience, in your life, do you feel like either of those or both of those, if you feel like they are talking about the same reality, are the same? Or how do you think about that invitation? And then the second question related to it is, what exactly would you think God might be inviting you to? What kind of adventure is God calling you to? What kind of sacrifice is God asking of you today? What kind of burden is God asking you or inviting you to bear? So again, this is just I'm sort of reflecting on my own message from this weekend and maybe extending it a bit here in this place, which reminds me, Tim behind the camera and I were chatting. He's waving now. You can't see that. We're talking about the fact that a number of episodes ago, I invited questions from all of you that you might like me to talk about in the episodes ahead. It's been kind of busy lately with some specific things I wanted to lift up about the life of St. Philip Deacon. But I'm hoping next week to start attending to or responding to some of those questions at least. So again, I will just remind you, if you have some questions you'd like us to take up here, I would welcome those questions from you. Again, you can either comment below on whatever platform you're listening to this or viewing this on, or you can reach out to me directly by email. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you as always for being with me here. And until next time, be well, stay in touch, and God bless.